Hey, are you still people pleasing and having a hard time saying no? Well, stick around to the end of this video, and by then you will be able to say no with ease and set healthy boundaries, and you'll be able to tell no, no, and no to anyone that you know. So join me, Fancy, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. Let's get it. So here's the thing about setting boundaries and the consequences of not doing them, which I'm sure you're probably experiencing. I know I have for a very long time. When I was people pleasing, I too felt that urge and that guilt and that shame when I said no. And almost like if I said no, I felt like I was hurting somebody else's feelings because I was not showing up for them. Like almost like I felt that they weren't worthy of my energy when I said no, or I would, hit a worthiness wound for them. So here's a little story that I read about. There was that, submarine that had went down to the Titanic, right? And what I had learned and discovered about this, because it imploded with a bunch of like millionaires or billionaires in it. Well, one of them was actually a child. Well, not like a baby child. I think it was like a teenage, like maybe 18, 16 or something. And the kid of the billionaire or millionaire, the kid of the financially abundant person, didn't want to go on the submarine from what I read, right? And they were trying to tell their dad no, like, I don't want to go, but their dad was some Titanic enthusiast and they were like dying to go and make it happen and go underneath the water. So he got pressured into going, right? And now, they go down there pretty deep. Imagine what that pressure is really doing. That's right. Implosion. And unfortunately, he kind of suffered the consequences of not being able to stay strong and say no. Like, physically, that kid didn't have to go in. Could have walked away. You could deal with it later, Dad. Not my problem. I'm physically not getting in there. Right? What's he gonna do? Hold you against your will and like kidnap you and like hold you hostage like your own dad? Like, that's actual abuse now, right? However, he had the free will to just not go, except it sounds like he was pressured into doing it. And unfortunately, all that pressure also collapsed his life. So that's the kind of consequences you'll suffer when you people please. And where does people pleasing stem from? Well, think about it. Our parents, when they're not giving us the love and support we need, or they're not accepting us as who we are, we start developing what? That's right. What is it? It's a worthiness wound, right? It's this lack of like love and appreciation for who we are, and it comes from our parents not loving us the way we deserve to be loved. And it's not their fault. It's the best way they know how to love. Except when we're trying to mitigate how they feel about us for so long, or we're trying to do things like, hey, mom and dad, am I worthy now? Am I worthy now? Well, guess what? That correlates and translates to all the other people you meet in your life. Right? And a part of you, because now you have this like deeply wounded aspect of you of like, am I worthy? And if I say no to this, are you going to stay? Are you going to abandon me? Because sometimes maybe that worthiness wound was caused because your parents did abandon you and they didn't give you that love. In a sense, they did abandon you, right? Not physically abandon you, but they weren't there for you. That is the abandonment. So you're like, well, if I don't do this for you, person that I've been friends with for 2-3 years now, who I'm sick and tired of people pleasing for, and now I want to shift and do less. If I start setting boundaries and saying no to helping you around your property and all these other things, am I going to lose you as a friend? Am I going to be left alone again? Am I not going to be worthy of even just the love of a friendship? Because I'm not willing to sacrifice my needs because I want to do something that's prioritizing me, an investment for me. And I believe now your real friends are going to support you 100% of the time. They'll never not accept your no. Okay? So here's the thing that happened to me is I had a pretty good friend. We're not friends anymore now. because I found out I was people pleasing. And when I started setting healthy boundaries and saying no, guess what? I realized they were taking advantage of me. And here's the thing though. One time I told this person specifically, no, I'm busy. I'm doing something with an EDM track, creating this melody. I'm in the zone. And I finally started saying no because I was shifting. I was already awakening. And this person looked at me and told me to my face, you only get so many no's. Like, you only get so many no's with me. What a narcissistic thing to say to someone that's your friend. Like, you only get so many no's to try to guilt trip me back into being this people pleaser version of myself, which I am literally moving away from. And then you're going to tell me as my friend that I think you are, that I only get so many no's to tell you. And then what happens then? What happens then? You stop being my friend. You stop doing acts of kindness for me, which you weren't really already doing. You were just kind of being nice. Right? When I was putting in more effort than I was receiving for a very long time. It's like, are you really trying to guilt trip me into that? And that's exactly what he was doing. So, in a sense, people don't like it when you start to shift from being a people pleaser. So start expecting, well, no, don't even expect it. Invite people and let them know, like, hey, I am shifting to not being a people pleaser anymore. And I'm setting healthy boundaries. And I invite you to be a part of the new me, which also involves me maybe not having as much time for you in the way I've been giving. And I hope you can understand. If that doesn't work for you, great. Our relationship served its purpose. You were meant for me to serve, well, for this amount of time so I could learn how to set healthy boundaries. Service to myself now, right? I served this person for so long, and when I started serving myself, that was it. That was the relationship. The relationship served its purpose for me to learn how to set healthy boundaries. So take that into perspective. You're going to burn out helping people. And when you definitely know that you're not receiving like as much as you're giving, just because you want to be kind, because you don't want to lose a friend. So it leads to burnout. So again, think about this. A couple things I want to clarify is one, there's consequences of your own mental health. There's also going to be the consequences of your physical health, your energy and where you're putting it. Because if you don't have enough energy for yourself, how are you ever going to do the things that you're passionate about that require your time and energy towards? Okay? So, and then be prepared. You may lose people. That was the point I was trying to make. Invite them first, though, and let them know that you're shifting. And if they don't accept that, well, they're probably a covert narcissist. And they're playing the long con. Now, here's the thing about narcissists. They're not exactly like bad people. They don't wake up every day like, oh, how can I manipulate people today to, get what I want? It's not like that. It's really more like it's survival mechanism for them. Because deep inside, they're deeply wounded too. They also have a worthiness wound. They just deal with it in a different way by manipulating their environment. And that's why they like people pleasers. Because it'll never be enough what the people pleaser will do. It'll never be enough. And they know they can use that as leverage. Just like telling me, you only get so many no's. Yeah, so many no's. I still wonder, I literally should have asked, until what? Like, now who I am is so strong in my frame, I would have been like, until what? Until what? Until I can't be your friend anymore. Oh, so you are using me. Oh, so you don't want to, this wasn't fucking real to begin with. Right? Let's be real about this. See, that's part of the people pleasing. I couldn't ask a clarifying question like that. Until what? Till what happens? Clarifying question. Very simple to answer. So, because it feels like you're going to hurt them. And in return, you may get the answer that you knew within that they're using you. So we try to turn a blind eye to it, or whatever it's called. Side-eyed it, and forget that they even said that. and then just try to keep making this relationship work. Anyway, once that did happen though, I actually did feel guilty enough where I think I went and helped this person. So again, watch out the energy exhaustion. You'll find out who your true friends are. And like I said, invite them onto your journey, let them know, and then you'll quickly understand whether if they're meant to be part of your life or not. That's what setting healthy boundaries is like. So, and part of that, stop wasting your time on people who aren't going to respect you. Because that reply from that person to me was not a respectful reply. It's not respectful of my time or my energy. This person thought they can just keep getting it from me over and over and over, right? That the energy source that covert narcissistic people need. And again, other people who are in the more passionate, empathic side, empaths, who end up becoming people pleasers, are also manipulative, just like the narcissist, right? Because they're doing it discreetly. Hey, I'll do this for you, and expecting friendship and expecting validation and approval, love back. It may not be exactly like intentional, I'm going to manipulate you and do all these things so I get all your love and affection and validation and approval. It's just that worthiness wound acting up. And same thing with narcissists. Like when they get exposed and like people stop giving them that energy source, they break down completely. And then they try to find ways to manipulate to get that person back. That's why if you're ever in a relationship with a narcissistic person, when they feel you starting to shift away, they start being more nice. They start being like the original person you first met them as. It's wild how that works. And I was in a relationship with a woman who was very much so like that. And whatever I did was never enough. It was wild. So, and I burned out. And I wondered what was wrong with me for so long. This person also started claiming I had all these like psychological things like wrong with me. And then I got a psychologist. I had none of the things that she was labeling me as. Like, and then I didn't realize, like, where's her PhD to be telling me this stuff? There isn't one. I was just a people pleaser, wanting this relationship to keep working. I wanted that love and approval, even though I rarely got it. And when I did, it felt like, you know, it was a breadcrumb compared to like the whole loaf that I deserved. Like, as in terms of like a relationship, the whole loaf. You get my point though? It's like I settled for less because I didn't receive that affection from my parents growing up. Because my parents worked a lot. They were almost never home. Then eventually my grandma flew from Bulgaria here to watch me and raise me. So, and I still spent a lot of time alone. Because there was times she would go back for long periods of time and then I would just be alone. I think it was like since like the age of like 7 or 8. Like I just stayed at home alone. Parents were at work, especially during the summers and whatnot. So, point is you will burn out. Stop being a people pleaser. Start saying no. And to set the healthy boundary, invite people. Let them know your shift. Ask clarifying questions. Because my goal for you is to realize you're going to people please all the way even towards setting a boundary. Like you're not going to want to say something that's your needs, to express your needs because you're afraid of the outcome. So let go of the outcome. So what if they don't end up being your friend anymore? Again, the relationship was meant to serve its purpose, which was for you to learn how to set frickin' boundaries. That's it. Because on the other side of this relationship that may dissolve because it served its purpose is a more in tune with who you really are and the people, places, and things that you want type of relationship. Somebody more, I would say, worthy of you, of your energy. Except it's really the friendship or romantic partner you deserve. Somebody who actually is a match for you, that's in alignment for the type of energy you deserve to be around. Because you give out an immense amount of energy. And it's time for you to also be loved and appreciated the way you try to give that love and appreciation out. It's also just realizing that you may have this worthiness wound and you're afraid if people leave. You'll find someone better, trust me. It always works out. And if anything, even if they leave, guess what? Guess freaking what? At least you're not gonna have someone draining your freaking energy. Energy vampire. These do not look like fangs. I look like a freaking like camel spider. Dude, those things are so cute, by the way. They're like, they have 2 mouths. I really want one as a pet. Centipedes, by the way, they have a really cute faces. They're so cute. I used to be so afraid of centipedes, and one day I was like watching this video of someone have a pet one, and like I was like, dude, they have the cutest little like cute faces. They're so cute. I don't know how I got onto that. Oh yeah, no vampire energy draining people, because at least you won't have that around you, and at least you'll be more free. Yeah, it's gonna feel weird. You're gonna be uncomfortable in the unknown space of not having someone around. Except this is the time for you to realize and start setting even better boundaries with people, the next people that you meet. To realize like you had unhealthy relationships because of the version of who you were. I can't get more clear on this. Okay? So set your boundary. Don't be afraid of the outcome. Because either way, it's going to serve you. Either you learn how to set boundaries and they step up to the plate to be there right with you in the same vibrational space and respect your boundaries and your energy and your time, or they leave and somebody else comes to fill that spot. And either way, you grew and you were able to learn the lesson to set a boundary. That's why we get karmatic people in our lives, even soulmates, karmatic soulmates, who are just here to show us a lesson so we can evolve and grow on this planet. Okay? So don't be afraid of the outcome, because unless you want to be like the person going in the freaking submarine and not being able to say no, that's exactly what happens to you energetically. You get stuck and you die a little inside. So don't do that to yourself. Okay? So let me know how I helped you in the comments below. Like and subscribe, especially if you really like this video. And have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day. Namaste. Bye.